Okay, hi everybody. Before I begin, I just want to say that the 5-paragraph format is not automatically a bad thing. Of course, there's like some real benefits to it, you know. I mean, sometimes you just need 5 paragraphs to get your point across, and that's fine. Other times, that's just kind of what is expected of you in your class. That is also fine, of course. But in the teaching of it, teachers and professors have taught poor writing techniques. And at some point, you're gonna need higher quality writing. And if you want that high quality writing, you're gonna need to know how to transcend it. And that is the focus of this video. One big mistake that I see with the 5-paragraph format is that it only makes it look as if there's one transition between each paragraph. Basically, it'll be something like climate change is a problem because, and then you just repeat that 3 times, and then that's kind of it. I think it's kind of a weird thing, but that's just how it's taught, right? But really, I mean, there's so many different ways of transitioning to a different paragraph. I mean, I've seen some writers, end with a question, and then the next paragraph they answer it and go into like detail, explaining their answer. In some cases, I've also seen some people, end one paragraph with a claim, and then in the next paragraph they give a whole example within that one paragraph, because sometimes example is just that extensive that it needs its own space. But of course, those are more kind of niche kind of things. Like those won't always help you. Like they're not as versatile. Of course, you can use them, but yeah. But the more versatile ones are called paragraph hooks. And I'm taking this from a book that I've read such a long time ago, but I found very useful. It's The Lively Art of Writing. One paragraph hook that this author really emphasizes is just using a key word or phrase from one paragraph to the other. Like literally just repeat it. And the example that I'm gonna give you right now is from George Orwell in his probably his most recognized essay, Politics and the English Language. You'll see here that he's really using the word 5 and specimens to get his idea across. Of course, there's some variation right there. Like he says specimens and also passages, but the word 5 is enough repetition to really tell us what he's talking about. And that's it. Easy, pretty simple. Just find that key word. Like whatever the subject that you were talking about really helps. It works surprisingly well. Some people are always kind of worried about repetition, but repetition just makes things coherent, you know? It's like, I always give the example, if you're talking about somebody and suddenly you use their nickname, unless that nickname is clear, we're not sure if you're talking about the same person. So just keep it consistent. The same thing applies here. Repetition is more than okay. Another paragraph hook to think of is called sort of like a reference hook. And this one's pretty powerful. I mean, because it allows you to not just connect one paragraph to another paragraph, but one paragraph and an entire section, really. And the idea is you just sort of refer back to what you were discussing. Like, what was the subject matter? How were you approaching it? Ask those questions, and then you can make a reference to it, and that's kind of it, and proceed from there, of course. Again, we'll get an example from George Orwell, the same essay. And here, like, the whole section that he was talking about is just a bunch of, what's it called? A lot of little mistakes that he thought of writing that most people do. And then he refers to it as this. Now that I have made this catalog of swindles and perversions, let me give another example of the kind of writing that they lead to. So now he's like shifting the focus of like the consequences of the passages that he's talked about, right? Like it's all connected, and he used the reference to those paragraphs to make that connection. Lastly, let's talk about another big problem that comes with teaching the 5-paragraph format. And that is, it makes it look like you can only develop your idea within that one paragraph. And that's kind of what's being advised anyways. Like a key piece of advice is 1.1 paragraph. I think there's another piece of advice that will actually take you much further in your writing, and that is 1.1 section. This is definitely a lot more professional, right? Like this will get you to write like full on pages of work. And a really good example of this sort of like, one section, 1 point kind of aspect is honestly John Oliver. He does a really great job at introducing these sections. Just take a look.
Let's talk about tech monopolies, the hidden harm that they can do, and how best to address that. And let's start with a tiny bit of history. Let's take a look at environmental racism, how it got this bad, how government and industry continue to fail people of color, and what we can do about it.
And it's typically like that, the what, the why, and then like what to do. And it works, and obviously that's way more than just 1.1 paragraph. I mean, those videos are usually like 20 minutes long, so it's definitely like the essay behind that is definitely longer than just like 5 paragraphs or whatever. Honestly, I do think that there are so many problems with the 5-paragraph essay. I could really make another video about it, but for now I feel like this is good. The 5-paragraph format is definitely something that is worth transcending at some point. And if you are at that point, I hope that this video helped. Well, that's all I have to say. Have a good one.